Hey everybody, welcome back to Electric Cafe. Today's episode is about the Pet Shop Boys. Just wanted to review some of my favorite tracks and albums, and probably some of my lesser known tracks that I've liked over the years, and talk a little bit about their influence and my history with them, and just how important they are to me. I feel like a lot of these videos, I want to give a baseline on my experience, and that's kind of why I'm doing a lot of these older artists that I used to be into when I was in my preteens and teen years and into my 20s, just to give everybody and myself kind of a foundation of my background, and then I can kind of talk about a lot of the music that I've been listening to the last 20, 30 years and the stuff that I'm into right now, especially. But, I'll always be into things like Pet Shop Boys and certain tracks. And if I was to put a number on Pet Shop Boys, on what they mean to me overall, I'd probably have to say they were probably the second most influential music act behind The Cure, as far as like who I am, and really, because The Cure is, I think above dance music, I like moody music, because it doesn't matter what kind of music it is, I like moody music, and that seems to be, The Cure it all kind of resonates from music like The Cure, and I could probably pinpoint to The Cure that is solely responsible for me liking them, different and moody music, and, considering how various The Cure's, they do rock music, they do dance music, and kind of everything in between, ballads and rock music, and even punk and stuff like that. So I feel like they've kind of set me up as far as liking a lot of genres, but just liking moody music within all those genres. But as far as like dance music specifically, Pet Shop Boys has to be that. And then also Depeche Mode and New Order are right there. Skinny Puppy, Susie and the Banshees, Brian Eno. There's a lot of music. Steve Roach is another one. Just very influential. One of my first memories, I have two really good memories of their first album, Please. And this is the original cassette. Still the original cassette from 1985. Maybe 86, early 86, but this was my brother's cassette. We used to play cards to it, play poker to it all day long. Like, we would there was a time there with me and my brother from like 85 to 87 where we would, play a board game or something like that, Monopoly or poker, or, just some kind of, game we'd play. And we would just sit and we put on a cassette, like Simple Minds or Talking Heads, or, and man, we played this one hours on end. This kind of became, I think everybody in the family liked this album. It wasn't like, it was something that I had and my sister didn't like, or my dad didn't necessarily like, or mom. Like, everybody in the family loved Pet Shop Boys, even my grandmother. And I got her to like some of the Pet Shop Boys. I think she didn't really have too much opinion, but I remember there was one day I took her in my room. I was like, "Hey, Grandma, you want to play some music?" And I played her some music, and I'm not sure what she thought, but I'm sure 1/3 of the music I played that day was Pet Shop Boys. And yeah, so here's also the couple of copies of the record, the CD as well. But just an amazing one, and so that's one of my favorite memories of early Pet Shop Boys. I just got so into this album. It's got to be one of my favorite albums. It's just one of these days I'll have to rank my favorite albums all time, and I would have to be, regardless of what genre it is, I think this has to be in the top 20. I don't know. I'll have to do that sometime. That'd be difficult to rank albums, let alone singles. There was one time back in 1990, I think it was 1994, 95, I rated my top 1,000 songs, and I had like 15 categories to give like a 1 through 10, and then it added up to like 150 points, and then I would rank them based on what I thought of each, like their bass line, their energy, their lyrics, their the melody, the rhythm, all kinds of different stuff like that. And I want to say, I can't remember what was number one, but yeah, that just goes to show you, like, I used to do some crazy top lists, but I don't know if I could do that now. 40 so years worth of music, and trying to rank electronic music into music, it's even dance music or rock music, it's really hard. It would still have to be sort of like per genre. Anyways, another one of my great memories. So I went to my sister's lip sync back in the 80s. Everybody did lip syncing in the 80s from, so it was part of her high school thing, and they did, I think they did the Bangles. It was my two sisters and two other girls. They did I think Manic Monday, or Walk Like Egyptian. This is like 85. And Opportunities off Please just came out. Let's Make a Lot of Money. And before, or maybe it was after, these two guys lip synced to it. And that was the first time I heard the power of any kind of music, let alone dance music, on a big PA system. Granted, it was a gym, and they probably weren't great speakers, but it was loud, and it was a PA system. And I remember stacks of speakers, so it must have been fairly decent for the time. And I remember hearing the bass line for Opportunities and just being floored. And since then, my love affair with Pet Shop Boys just grew. My sister had the album too. She had it on vinyl, and she also had actually on vinyl and Introspective. And then, I pretty immediately, when Introspective came out, and then Behavior, it was 12, 13, 14 years ago, I started buying everything I could, and of course the back catalog as well. So Please was so important for those times. And then you have, I want to talk about the songs. Probably my favorite Pet Shop Boys song of all time is Love Comes Quickly. Just an amazing song. I really like the production on. It's very raw. The melody is great. It has some really cool effects in it. It's very simple. It's driving. It's got great. I love the lyrics. Just love the melody. Love the video. And there's a single right here, and I love the remixes. They have the dub remix, the dance remix, and then the extended remix. All three were great remixes, and I would make my own remixes, pressing pause and alternating versions and making my own versions. And then I must have made a whole 90-minute tape of my own mixes of Love Comes Quickly. I just love that track so much. Opportunities, I have to be in the right mood to like Opportunities. It's kind of, the original version has some better music parts in it. West End Girls, it's a great song, but again, sometimes I just don't like the super popular songs. Like, I don't really like It's a Sin. I would never go to play that. Always on My Mind is probably one of the best dance cover versions of all time. Like, huge hit, huge catchy. Neil Tennant does a great job singing on that. Just amazing production from Chris Lowe on that track. I don't necessarily go to it often. Violence is a really good track on here. Every song is a really good track on here. Later Tonight. Why Don't We Live Together? They wanted to be a single. Instead, they put out Suburbia. Suburbia is a great song too, but I can still say song is a great song, but then not, necessarily say it's for me. Like, I Respect It as a great song. It's super catchy. It's well done. It's a classic, but it's not, if I was to put on 20, 30, 40 favorite Pet Shop Boys song, those those three songs, West End Girls, Opportunities, and Suburbia, they probably wouldn't make it in my... In fact, I did do a top 50 a couple years ago, and I think they just barely made it into the top 50. Those two tracks. But Later Tonight is a great track. Tonight Is Forever. I thought that should have been a single. And then moving on to actually, which I can't find my oh, excuse me, I forgot about this one. Here's the West End Girls remix. This has some really good remixes. The Acid House remix, James Brown mix, Montreal mix, the Montreal instrumental, and Montreal dub. The ZYX version, really some really cool, unique, original mixes. This is like a German import from '86. So there's obviously a lot of different versions of West End Girls and a lot of different remixes, and that one's the best ones that I've found. And then of course you have also in the period there's the West End Girls has the dance remix, and then the dub version, which is a lot better than the dance version. A Man Could Get Arrested. The great B-sides that already started. A Man Could Get Arrested. Great version. They were really trying to. There's a whole, and the alternative double CD that Pet Shop Boys came out in '95, which I just realized when I was taking out my CDs that I don't have anymore. This is one of those CDs that just got lost in the moving all these years. That collection of B-sides is like a whole new universe. If you don't know if you know Pet Shop Boys and you just know the albums, and you don't know, or especially if you like disco and you like house music, the old B-sides is just like a whole new world of Pet Shop Boys music. And then you have the regular West End Girls 12-inch remix, which I believe also has the dance version. Yep, and West End Girls doesn't say what version it is, but also Man Could Get Arrested. I think it's just the single version on this one. But A Man Could Get Arrested. Just, I think what they were doing at the time, when they were just really influenced by Italo disco and just disco in general, and they took like a beat machine and Fairlight and what have you, or however they made the music in that really early period, and made this kind of like mix of sort of I wouldn't even say it's freestyle, but it's like this New York kind of version of dance music, a New York version of post disco. A Man Could Get Arrested is a perfect example. Just really sparse lyrics, and that kind of ties back to how West End Girls is sung through the song. It's very raw, and so A Man Could Get Arrested is almost like a raw B-side to perfectly complements West End Girls. And that was what made Pet Shop Boys so cool at the time. Is you had their persona was the lead singer is I wouldn't say snobby, but he's kind of into technology and rich, and Chris Lowe is the cool dude with sunglasses, doesn't say anything, but just kind of looks like a cool bodyguard. But he's not really a bodyguard because he's not big, but he just looks like a cool buddy. I mean, like that picture. He's got a boy hat on, just chilling in the background. And two guys making dance music. And it's just such a cool persona. There was a time, probably for a good 3-4 years, where I dressed like Chris Lowe. I had the big, especially around the time of like So Hard, like '90, when they were the biggest band for me, probably for a good 1980, probably 1987 to like 98, but definitely around like 90 and 91, 92. That whole the Behavior album, I was such a huge fan. I don't know which album I like better, Violator or Behavior, and the importance of those singles around that time. Which one had a bigger impact? But what a great year, 1990. So many good albums came out that year. Skinny Puppy, Sisters of Mercy. So much good music in 1990 and '89. And then I have here's the Opportunities 12-inch as well. And that has can't read it. Trying to think of the B-side to that. I want to know the B-side to it. Was that? Oh shit! I can't remember what it is. Was that what it? Is it what it is? Is that what it is? I can't remember how it goes. But that one's got a great drum track too. Not as good as the band Get Arrested, but really solid. Actually, oh no, I forgot. Actually, they released so much stuff in that period. 4 singles, the disco album, Please, like they were on a roll even before actually. So much music to hear, and here's the remixes. And this one added a couple new songs, In the Night, which is really cool, Pen and Arrow, and then it had a couple remixes of the singles, Suburbia, West End Girls, Love Comes Quickly, and Opportunities. But then they added Pen and Arrow, and In the Night. So really cool. And this kind of started their series with the disco series, which I think they had 5 disco series, which is basically just their remix of their single all into one kind of like dance album, which was very, very, very 80s like for the time. I can think of like Paula Abdul and Madonna, and a lot of those dance artists would just, after they bring out an album, would just pull out a dance album and all just remixes that. So here's actually just one of the most amazing recorded albums in the 80s. When I think of It Couldn't Happen Here, or King's Cross, or the bass line and I Want to Wake Up, I want to Wake Up, Keyboards in Rent, The Power in One More Chance. Just an amazing album. It's so hard not to put this over Please. But the only difference in this is, like, I don't mind shopping. Hit music. Hit music. Does anybody like hit music? Does anybody like hit music? I don't know. It works because it goes from shopping to hit music, and shopping's kind of cheesy, and then Rant's kind of the lyrics are kind of campy, but although it's a beautiful song. But I don't know. It's an interesting 3 in a row there. Shopping, Rent, and hit music. I love Rent though, but I don't know. It's just compared to the B-sides, It Couldn't Happen Here, It's a Sin, I Want to Wake Up, Heart, and King's Cross. What a B-side! Amazing compilation. I mean, amazing album. What a sophomore album. There was no let up when it came to the Pet Shop Boys on a sophomore slump. They freaking nailed it. Here's the CD's kind of rare single, CD single for Rent, and I believe I Want a Dog is on the other on the B side of this, which was like very cool. I Want a Dog. Yeah, I Want a Dog. Very cool B side of that. Rent, just awesome. So then also, here's the single for It's a Sin. Trying to think of the remix on here. You Know Where You Went Wrong? Another great B-side. So many great B-sides. And look at this. The song went to top 5 in America. And look at the cover. Just Neil Tennant's over there, just bored, like ho hum. He's sitting there like, yeah, let's put this on the cover, and then just make the back purple. Like they were just, it was like that anti-popularity. Like if there was anybody that nailed that, it was the Pet Shop Boys. And then also you have here's a original copy of Introspective. Of course, people will say now, but they didn't know it then. But this is, the first sign that they were gay, which is really sad because I don't know if the media found out that they were gay or what have you, but you're talking about 4 or 5 top 10 songs, including Always on My Mind, and then they never get another top 40 song again. It's just strange. You know, and they had so much good songs. You wonder if they just weren't put up there because, for several reasons, not only because they're gay, but I have a theory that that America doesn't like to promote European artists because the money goes back to the UK. I mean, it makes sense, right? Why would they want American money to go back to UK when they can just create their own version of that or promote somebody else? And then the American media has always been really shitty to dance music. You know, like it's all gay music, it's disco, it's not a machine does it. It doesn't take any skill to program a song. You know, it's just the rock bands in the 80s. Oh God, I just couldn't stand radio except for where we were because we were lucky to have K-Rock in Los Angeles, but man, I would just think about like, why aren't these guys popular? Why aren't Pet Shop Boys on the radio? Like, they make such good music. Like, how does Love Come Quickly not even chart in America? You know, like they should be huge. I was, you know, as I thought about that for years until I really understood. Like, oh, okay, it was because they were gay. Oh, okay, because they were British. Okay, because it's electronic music. Like, those are their excuses. Like, America doesn't know how to promote the media. They don't know how to promote electronic music. I'll say that again. American media does not know how to promote dance music, electronic music, EDM, whatever the genre is, whatever the version is at that particular time. Electronica. They tried to with electronica, I remember the late 90s, with Chemical Brothers and Prodigy and, you know, Future Sound of London. And, you know, they tried to promote them as electronica and give them a title and sort of like, hey, this is the new music. They you know, Air was another one. You know, the around 97, 98 that they really tried, you know, Underworld. They really tried to promote, of course, Moby. You know, they really tried to promote it as like, here's the new music, but that was very short-lived. You know, probably for a year there. You know, electronic music's always got a bad rap in the media, and now the way that they do promote it, because they can't deny it, they can't deny the popularity of electronic music, the money it generates, the sales, how much music is out there, how good what do? They put these people that aren't DJs, put them up on some pedestal, and call them DJs and put on a festival with 40 other artists, you know, like Coachella or something like that. That's how they promote electronic music in America. This is bullshit. Anyways, I Want a Dog made the album as well. Domino Dancing, another great thing, probably the last top 40 track for Pet Shop Boys in America. I'm Not Scared, which is a great track. Also around this time, the Liza Minnelli track. I can't think of the name, but it was on around the same, actually maybe closer to 89, 90, but also that track was a really good track too. It's Alright, cover of Sterling Void's disco classic. So Pet Shop Boys were super into, I think they came out to America a couple times in like 86, 87, 88, and they saw the acid house movement and New York club scene and stuff like that. And of course, acid house was huge in Europe at the time, and they really respected it really well to do their own version of it. For example, on the B side of Left to My Own Devices, the sound of an atom splitting. It's kind of a very ravey track. Here's the small CD single for Left to My Own Devices with the disco remix. Great versions, great albums for dance music. This is great. And that could be what partly sort of took the wind out of their sails as far as chart success, was not releasing a third album for a couple more years, but putting out another dance album when they just had disco too. But, you know, but I can't really fully say that because Always on My Mind hit number 1 off this album. Domino Dancing was top 40. The other tracks are probably too long to be, to be radio play, but great album. Great album. And then you have what many people consider their masterpiece. This is the 2016 pressing. Just an amazing album. Unfortunately, my dad passed away about 5 months ago, and I remember the day this came out, and I played it for him. I was playing it. I must have just got off school and playing the CD, and oh man, Being Boring faded in. That melody that, if you know Being Boring, just faded in, and that song played, and I must have played that song 10, 20 times in a row. And my dad got home, and I was like, you gotta check this out. And he loved it. It was an amazing song, and that probably still was always his favorite song. Amazing song. This Must Be the Place That I've Waited Years to Leave. Great song, great follow-up song right into that. To Face the Truth and Only the Wind and Jealousy, great slow songs. So Hard, great dance song. My October Symphony, great, amazing track. The End of the World, not bad. Nervously, it's okay. There's two things that draw this album back, and it's just one is a possible could be, one was a decision that they made. The first one of the decision is they should have put the 7-inch remix of How Can You Expect to Be Taken Seriously instead of this version. So on the single, a couple months later, they came out with there's a version called the 7-inch Perfect Attitude Mix. It's only the original version is 3 minutes and 54 seconds. This 7-inch Perfect Attitude Mix is 4 minutes and 10 seconds. After I heard this version, I'd never played the original version again. I always play that version. It's much better than the original version. Funny thing about how Can You Expect to Be Taken Seriously? So in I think it was 92 or maybe 93. Yeah, we had to bring in like a song. I think it was for like English class or something like that. Bring in a song and I'm not sure why, but it was some kind of like English project about lyrics and music and stuff. And anyways, I brought the How Can You Expect to Be Taken Seriously. I brought that video in because I had I had the singles, whatever that singles discography VHS was. I brought in that and played that. I think half the class was like, and then the class, I don't think they knew what to make of it. There's probably a couple people in there that thought I was gay, just because it had like guys dancing around in the video, if you know the video. But to me at the time, it was kind of hip hop. Two guys dancing. They had two black guys dancing on it, kind of like urban style, like kind of. I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know. Anyways, what do I know? What do I know is cool when it comes to popular stuff? Anyways, that's for sure. To Face the Truth, great song. But the other thing, so that version should have made this version, which they probably made that version later. Maybe that was a decision, but I would think they would have made the remix somewhere around when they made the album. But should have put that version on. Second thing is the only song on here I don't like is The End of the World. I feel like it could have been a better. This album needed one more track as good as So Hard. One more upbeat track as good as So Hard. I don't think The End of the World meets that. Still a good track. Kind of sounds like a B-side. When you compare that to all the great songs on Very, for example, like Very is upbeat song after upbeat song after upbeat song, like so many good songs, especially on the B-side where you're just like, okay, these are B-sides. No, One in a Million, Young Offender, just like great dance song, great after great dance song, and this one, I don't think The End of the World really met that. Julian Mendelsohn, I mentioned him on the other video. He mixed, great job. Harold Faultmeyer, just great, wonderfully recorded album. And then I don't think Nervously is I'm okay with it, but could those three songs have been better? And I think this would be the all-time best Pet Shop Boys song. When I think of Please, I don't think there's any song that's not good on that one. Actually, maybe Hit Music. This one, maybe a song or two, maybe three. That's not good, but it has Being Boring on it. Amazing. I guess somewhere along the line, I lost my Being Boring CD, my original copy. Of course, later on, I bought this, which is The Further Listening, 90 to 91. It's like a 2-disc set. Really has all the B-sides and stuff like that. Really cool CD. What's next? So a couple 12 inches, and this particular time was my favorite time at the Pet Shop Boys. I at the time I was into their. I joined their fan club. 91, 92, 93, 94. I was in their fan club here. A few of their actually issues were, they talk about what they're doing and some interviews and some lyrics and what they're up to and what's possibly coming out. And this one has their work with Cicero and Crying Game and Spaghetti Records. Here's some parts about with Boy George, and just even a couple songs that they're into. Chris was into Show Me Love. Neil Tennant was into Microgravity by Biosphere. Very cool. Songs of Faith and Devotion. Depeche Mode, of course. New Order, Republic, Elvis Costello. I might not Costello. But Chris's list is all like early rave stuff. TC 1993, Harmony, Capella, You Got to Know. Some high energy disco tracks there too as well. But yeah, very cool. And then you get to like these postcards. It has my old address in California on it. Old stamp. Straight from the UK, postage stamp. I wonder if this costs £1 to send. I wonder if that's the one there. £1. Crazy. But yeah, this is to mark the single of Go West, including remixes by Brothers in Rhythm, Dave Seaman, and Farley and Heller, and then Kevin Saunderson. So still have the postcard 30 years later. Very cool. Great remixes on So Hard. The dub version, amazing. 12 extended dance remix, very cool. Here's what. It Must Be Obvious. Should have been on Behavior. It Must Be Obvious. Should have been on Behavior. Man, if It Must Be Obvious would have been on Behavior, I think the reason why they did it is because it sounds like a little bit like Only the Wind and To Face the Truth, and maybe they didn't want another slower song on there, but they put Nervously on there. It Must Be Obvious. If that was on there, that would have been all-time best album. I love that single. That's a great single. That's a great B-side. Amazing. More singles from the time. Jealousy 7-inch. Here's the track with Liza Minnelli, Losing My Mind, is the B-side on this one. Great track with her. For those that don't know Pet Shop Boys' history in that time, they wrote the track Heart that was on Actually, and they wanted to give that track to Madonna. Of course, they did What Have I Done to Deserve This with Dusty Springfield. Here's a track they did for Liza Minnelli. Of course, they worked with Boy George, You know, so they were giving a lot of their songs and producing a lot for other people at the time and wanting to work with people that they respected in the industry. Jealousy, really good song. Video, video's okay. Yeah. Um, how can you expect to be taken seriously? Here comes the original version of "We All Feel Better in the Dark." Oh man, that song I played for hours and hours. That was probably my favorite song that year. Being Boring, Marshall Jefferson mix was okay, and then it's got a good version of a Trevor Horn remix of "It's All Right." Nice CD maxi single right here. And then they did that version of U2's "Where the Streets Have No Name" with Frankie Valli. I Can't Take My Eyes Off You. What a great blend of a song. I can't think of another song where people mixed. I mean, I guess it's a mashup. I guess you would call it a mashup, but not that was this popular. That used two songs and made it one back in 1991. Original 7-inch mix, 12-inch dance remix, Red Zone remix. Shout out to David Morales. Bet She's Not Your Girlfriend was a great B-side. And I Want a Dog, another time on a B-side. But this is the techno funk mix. Another solid EP. They were on a roll on these singles, you know. And here's the European version of How Can I Expect to Be Taken Seriously. I'm sorry, Where the Streets Have No Name with How Can You Be Taken Seriously. It had the Momo mix, the Raga Zone mix, and the David Morales mix of Where the Streets Have No Name. Shout out to the Red Zone man. Very cool. This looks like a DJ record, right? Even though it's a CD. Very cool. Very cool. And I love the early imagery around this time. And I'll show you my favorite one here in a second, but just showing a cool rolling keyboard. Very cool. Very cool. And here's got this for Christmas in 1991. And look at all that equipment back there. I remember when I got this in 91. This is what told me I wanted to be a DJ. Looking at this picture. It's funny to think about that now. I remember drawing this on my book, DJ Culture in red, and trying to do it in this font. But I used this DJ name for through the 90s. This is my DJ name. And recently, since I moved to Lancaster, I've started DJing at this new wave night. It's like every other month or so, and they're like, well, what name do you want to go by? And I said, well, either two things. You can either call me my original name or I'll use DJ Culture. And strange enough, I'm DJ Culture again. But anyways, great. I love here's the old Pioneers, the horizontal mixers right back in the day that we used to use. And I love this DJ stand. Very clean DJ stand. Very cool. Look at all the equipment back there. It's probably Eventide and some compressors and limiters. You know, it looks like a little mixer back there. It's probably an Akai right there. Very cool. DJ Culture, great version, extended version. Whew. Music for Boys. We All Feel Better in the Dark, B-side, and then Music for Boys came out. This is rave music, right? This is their version of rave music. Amazing. Tessa Niles, additional vocals. Brothers in Rhythm, Dave Seaman again. Man, he was on a roll back then. On a roll. Another great single. Was It Worth It? This had the Miserableism B-side. One of their best B-sides. I mean, just amazing. I keep saying that. I feel like I'm recognizing the B-sides more than the albums, but the B-sides were amazing. Miserableism kills Was It Worth It? Was It Worth It is solid. It's good. It's catchy. I like it. I like the remixes better. That's why I bought this. But compared to Miserableism, man, another Brothers in Rhythm remix. And then you got the Miserableism Electro mix by Moby. So smooth, so smooth. Um, I think he did Move. If you know Moby's, he did Move right after he did these. That seemed to be his next release after, and this kind of has like he probably recorded this remix on the same equipment that he ended up recording Move on. And then you have what a lot of people consider their last great album, right? Here's Very and the cassette. Still got my original cassette here. Not a bad song on here. Not a bad song on here. I'm not a fan of Go West. I don't like the YMCA song. I don't like Village People. You know, it's kind of cheesy. This is the original one with the Lego cover. But I don't like Go West. Other than that, every song on here was a winner. The singles were Can You Forgive Her? I wouldn't normally do this type of thing. Here's the other Can You Forgive Her? The Rolo dub on here. Whew, smoking. And I Want to Wake Up, the 1993 mix, made the CD, which I was super excited because that's probably my favorite song. Oh, it's hard to say on actually my favorite song, but it's my favorite upbeat song on, because King's Cross, It Couldn't Happen Here, and One More Chance. I mean, One More Chance is not bad, but I Want to Wake Up is kind of the dance song on, in my opinion, the best dance song actually. And to see the remix, I was super excited. But Mark Kitchen, MK, doing the remixes on here. Wow. Rolo dub. The Rolo dub is sick. Rolo dub is sick. So underrated. So sick. So sick. And then you have the other singles, right? I would normally do this type of thing. I think Sasha does a really good remix of one of these. A little bit too campy for me. You know, it's kind of, they got a little bit too disco-y on some of these remakes, kind of losing the dub atmosphere to the dancey. I could debate all day, but the remixes in the 80s, probably from like 85 to like pushing this time of 92, 93, 94, the older remixes were done mostly by the engineers who worked on the project, house mixers, people that know their way around the studio. They probably come in during the session, and I spoke about this a little bit before, but they understood rhythm and they understood the original. A lot of times they were the mixer on the sessions, right? So or they helped record it. Surely they were in the studio when the band made it, so they understand. Like, they're probably in their head saying, "Well, I really like this part of the song. I want to keep this as the instrumental, and bring the vocal back after another minute, and sort of make like their own extended version and dubbed versions from the original stems." Well, as you got into the middle '90s, they started changing the beats, making different versions, and they were outsourced to people. Like Sasha wasn't in the sessions, not like Shep Pettibone was Shep Pettibone might have not been in the session on that one, but the person who did the extended remix and the person who did the dub remix and the dance version, I want to say, Stephen Hague. Yeah, Stephen Hague. It's produced by Stephen Hague. So, obviously he's going to do well on the remix. Where here, and especially getting in the late 90s, Depeche Mode is a perfect example. A lot of, they had Alan Moulder and some of the, even Flood remix them and stuff like that. And then by the end of the 90s, they have like Richie Houghton and mixing it, and Thomas Brinkman and Laylo and Bushwhacker. And there's some fine versions in there, but they became their own songs versus back then those were extended versions. And for me, I don't mind. If it depends on the remix whether I want it, but if I like the original song, I want the stems. I want the original version extended so I can enjoy it. Yeah, if the remix is cool, I like it too. But I generally wanted it to sound like the original, just the elements of it. That way, I can make my own remix too. And that's what I used to do up to about this point. Um, yeah, so solid album. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember what the B side on this, but I'm sure it's good. Oh, the Hacienda version of Violence is on here. J.J. Cale, guitar player, does one of the greatest little guitar riffs at the end of Hacienda remix of Violence. This is a burner right here. Burner. And then also you have the Go West single. Not too jazzed about really anything here. In fact, the B-side, Shameless, wasn't that great either. Probably one of the weakest B-sides they ever had, in my opinion. Remixes, Kevin Saunderson. I just, Brothers in Rhythm again on here. Mike Spike, Drake, Stephen Hogg. Some solid people in here, but Go West, I just was never a fan. And here's Disco 2. I remember when this came out, I got the cassette at the time. We were at Universal Amphitheater. I was with my friend George, and we popped into, I think it was Tower Records there, that was inside Universal Amphitheater, and I was stoked to see the new Disco 2 on cassette, and I picked it up, and man, I was so stoked because it had We All Feel Better, the different version on here, which is great, and they're absolutely fabulous. I love the melody swell, the synth swell on that, and then this has some good remixes on here. Into So Hard and Can You Forgive Her. Very cool. Very cool. This one has probably the best flow of any of the Disco 2. On this one, they started making it one like DJ mix, where the first disco mix was just the songs segued, to each. But I've never heard Disco 3, Disco 4, and Disco 5. So, but I do really like this one. Moving on, another B-side without an album. Yesterday When I Was Mad. This is Jam and Spoon mix is really good on here. The B-sides are really strong. Some Speculation and Euroboy. Euroboy's very ravey. Some Speculation's a really good track. But this is a solid EP. And then later on that year, wow, they're just on a roll. Like 10, 12 EPs in 4 years. Just racking them. They re-released Pen and Arrow with remixes. The Tin Tin Out remix is great in here. Yeah, that's my favorite one on here. Excellent. Doesn't look like the CD's in here, which is strange because I remember hearing this recently. So I must have it in another case. Anyways, moving on to 1997. Bilingual. So it's an okay album. It's okay. I really like Discoteca. Metamorphosis is unique. Electricity is cool. Before is really good. Here's a couple of the CD singles. The CD single and the maxi single. The Denny Tenaglia remixes of Before are fantastic. I can't remember what the B-side on here was. I think it's Hit and Miss or something like that. Not very good. But yeah, Denny Tenaglia, I think it's a bonus beats mix or something like that. Fantastic. Here's Se Avide. Again, I'm a completist, so I took a chance on this, but I was losing hope around this time that a lot of these songs and the remixes weren't that good. I was really starting to lose hope. I don't think I liked any version on here. It's a little too acoustic, a little too, kind of Spanish flamenco kind of. Doesn't. And then this album at the end gets a little too disco for me. Saturday Night Forever, To Step Aside, The Survivors, Up Against It. Regular Days, okay. Just kind of runs out of steam. A little bit too disco in here. First couple songs again are pretty solid. Discotheque Electricity, Metamorphosis I liked, and then Before, but just kind of running out of steam. So this kind of, for me, this kind of like, I mean, I was 21 when this came out in '97, so I was a hardcore Pet Shop Boy fan for 10 years, if not 12 years, going back to when I first heard them, and just kind of running out of steam and just being really probably over a little bit too overly critical. Are Pet Shop Boys getting old? Are they running out of things to say? Are they losing touch with the dance music? Are they becoming too digital and losing the analog feel of the old one? There were so many reasons why I was in my head where it was just like, I feel like they're losing the plot, losing maybe just losing touch with dance music and becoming too, I don't know, too disco, maybe too boring, I don't know. The remixes weren't there. I was liking less and less songs. Nightlife came out. I saw them on tour. This album with my girlfriend and my parents. For Your Own Good, really good track. I really like it. Close to Heaven, solid. I don't want you. I don't want to know what you want, but I can't give it anymore. No. Happiness an option. You only tell me when you love me drunk. Vampires and Radiophonic I thought was cool. Radiophonic. Seems like every album, there's like one song that sounds kind of like One More Chance, where it's just very polished, very well done, electronic song, dance song. I can think of like fundamental, like minimal. This one is Radiophonic. Radiophonic is really cool. But then the only one, Boy George, In Denial, New York City Boy, no. Footsteps was okay. But, it seems like every album I'm liking less and less songs. I might have liked, all of them are listenable. Don't get me wrong, I can play this whole CD, but only half of them I really, really like. And then I got the singles, and, I mean, you go from amazing engineers to people like Super Chumbo remixing it? Huh? Thunderpuss? I can't remember who mixed these ones, but I don't have my glasses on me, but it's just I don't remember anything from these two CDs, these two singles. I might have played these once. These are probably freaking mint, but just not good. The originals aren't good, and so at this time I'm like pretty much done with Pet Shop Boys. I'm like so disappointed, even though I saw them in concert. It was a great show. They put on a great show. I thought the songs went really well with the videos. If anybody went to that tour, I think that was the first real American tour at the time. It's the only time I've seen Pet Shop Boys. And they came out with Break for Love, which I love the Rays version, the original the original Acid House track, and these have some good versions on them. I like the club mix on this one, and the whatever the Laros and Dusky version. Richard Morel's version's not bad on here. Ralphie's dub version on here is not bad either. A couple okay. I like the original. They did a pretty good version of that. It was passable. And then I actually have on the wall because I cut it up because I like the inner. Actually, it's over here. This is the inner of these two pictures over here. They're the flowers and the inside cover of Home. So if I remember correctly, on Home when that came out, I liked the song London. Home and Dry was good. But again, just no good dance songs. Fundamental, Psychological's good song. I really like Numb and Luna Park. I'm Was Stupid, horrible. Integrals, isn't bad. But I like 4 of the songs out of here. I remember hearing this when it came out, and I was like, this is probably the last Pet Shop Boys I heard the day or week or month that came out. Like I went to the store and was like, oh, I gotta buy it. And then after this one, I got it when I wanted to. Eventually, I was probably a few months later getting this one and really surprised about this one. This one had the most good songs in a while. Did You See Me Coming? It was great. King of Rome. King of Rome, if you know it, is probably the best. It's probably my favorite Pet Shop Boys song in the last, I don't know, 20 years, 25 years. Beautiful People is good. Love Etc. is really good. Of course, everybody knows it sounds like Opportunities. But a nice comeback album. And here's the Yes, We're Gay thing that everybody was like, okay, they are gay. I was like, well, duh. LCM. I really like Leaving on here. And Winter. And that's pretty much it for my Pet Shop Boys collection. I haven't bought the last Axis and Pop, and I mean, to be honest with you, I really only like the Pet Shop Boys for the most part in between, 85 and like 94 after Very, maybe a few singles after that. Bilingual is okay. I got a chance to hear The Loneliness, a single, and a couple songs off the new album, and was not impressed. I think I don't know. I have a personal preference that if you're let's say you're gonna see Pet Shop Boys in concert, I want to hear, and I don't expect them to bring out the Fairlight machine and stuff like that, but if you're gonna play 35, 40-year-olds dance songs and you're gonna update them on new gear, you're running a risk of maybe new people liking it, but the veterans, I think, it doesn't sound right to me. It doesn't have the warmth of the original analog music. And I know that's asking a lot for them to sound like how they used to sound, but we're talking about equipment here. Like you can make the bass line sound original. You can and granted, I think it was the 2017 mix where there's because it's my favorite Pet Shop Boys song of all time, Love Comes Quickly, where Neil Tennant goes over to the keyboard and plays a couple parts and then comes back and starts singing the song. That particular version is great, and because a lot of those sounds are some of the intricate parts of what makes that song great, and then the sounds aren't too off. They're not updated to the point where, like when you listen to West End Girls. Actually, West End Girls is not a good example. If you listen to I don't know, It's a Sin or even Opportunities and stuff like that, it's just without those analog bass lines and some of those sounds, it sounds like, I wouldn't say like a whole different song, but it loses a lot of the what made it a great track for me. We're talking about dance music here, so if you're going to do dance music and you're going to update it with new equipment, you're running the risk of it not sounding that good. And I feel like Chris Lowe has really kind of dropped the ball, and he seems to come out with like one workstation, do everything behind the scenes for live, and then bring out the one keyboard and sort of do his thing, and he does a good job, but I just don't think he has the right choices of sounds to play the songs, and then also it's too much like a greatest hits show to see them at concert anyways. But the new album's just, I don't know, it's very much like Depeche Mode. I'm liking 2, 3, 4 songs at the most on every album that comes out for the last 20 years. I guess I'm just kind of like moved on from them and just expect too much. I don't know. Maybe my standards are too high for them. I don't know. Do they sound old? Been there, done that before. I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is, but I feel like they've lost touch in the sound and the experimentalism in making rhythms. Depeche Mode doesn't even make dance music anymore. Really, it's kind of. I mean, this last album, maybe Ghost and stuff like that, had a little bit some cool electro beats on it, like Damaged. That one song. I just can't remember what it is. Damaged something, Damaged People, or something like that. But yeah, it feels like the Pet Shop Boys don't know how to make a dance track anymore. It seems like they're just regurgitating disco music. They kind of lost touch with the DJ world. You know, it was cool. It was cooler in their late '80s and early '90s when they were sort of tied to rave. You know, or at least acid house, DJ culture. Domino dancing is a really cool video when you see him on the DJ on the ones and twos. You know, looks like he's in the heart of, you know, like the Miami scene, or probably in South America at the time or something like that. And he's into the freestyle music, and that's really represented with these West End Girls remixes at the time, and you know, great studio remixes and stuff like that. But now it's just like, oh, have somebody else do the remixes, and then you have these people that they have a name, but they don't understand Pet Shop Boys, and they do their own version of it, and it's nothing. It's a remix, but it's nothing like. I think they're junky as shit. Like, I can't. I'm trying to remember the last good remix of a Pet Shop Boys song. It's been a long time, and I've heard when they did the pop hits, and oh my god, they were like people were. It was like the pop hits, like in 2006 or something. They came out with like the pop. I mean, they were using like the Cher auto tune on Home and Dry and stuff like that. Those remixes. No. Anyways, so that's my Pet Shop Boys video. But again, they're so important for me when I was a kid, from when I was like 9 years old to 17, 18. I mean, I dressed like Chris Lowe with the oversized jacket and the Stussy hat and the glasses and the big baggy jeans. I mean, just like in the So Hard video. I mean, you know, I had a big trench coat, London Fog trench coat. Like, I mean, I wanted to get like everything like he had with Stussy hats and, you know, the Fila and the champion hats, and just like, just like how Chris Lowe's here with the champion hat, cool jacket, nice and clean. That's how I dress, Pananero. So yeah, that's my Pet Shop Boys story in a nutshell. I'd be curious, what are your top 5 Pet Shop Boys songs, and what do you think is your favorite Pet Shop Boys album? Just one Pet Shop Boys favorite album. Your top 5 Pet Shop Boys songs. My top 5 Pet Shop Boys songs. Should I end it on that? Oh, I wish I had my list. I should look it up real quick, and I posted it on Facebook a couple years ago. If I was to, it's hard to do it right now. I know Love Comes Quickly is number 1. I want to say somewhere in the top 5, the top 10. I can't remember exactly, but Do I Have to? Which is a great B-side. We All Feel Better in the Dark. King's Cross is in there. It Couldn't Happen Here. 2 Divided by 0 is in the top 10, pretty sure. And maybe Something from Barry in there? I don't think Something from Barry is in the top 10. Dreaming of the Queen, maybe? I don't know. But those songs are definitely in the top 10. I know. Great B-sides in the top 10. Oh shit, was it New Boy? Newtown? Oh shit, that's gonna bug me. Oh shit. Oh god, why can't I think of it? New Life. New Life, the B-side, New Life. Oh man. If you guys get a chance, Google or go on YouTube, check out the 8-minute version of New Life. It's like extended version. I don't even know where it comes up. It's New Life is on alternative on the B side, but it's only like the 4 minute version. There's like a 7 or 8 minute song version of New Life. That bass line, that melody, man, that's got to be in the top 10 too. All right. So yeah, I'm curious, what are your top 5 songs and your favorite album? All right. Thanks for checking in with Electric Cafe. I keep wanting to say electronic. Electric Cafe. Electric Cafe. Gotta think Kraftwerk, not electronic music. All right. Have a good day, everybody.